What's going on, guys, and welcome to a very important video regarding Social Security. This is one video that you should not ignore. Now, today we're going to talk about potential increases to Social Security, talk about the increase to SNAP benefits. We're also going to address what discussions lawmakers are currently having that will impact you. Not could, but will. So make sure you stick around for this entire video, and I will explain exactly what is going on. First, all I ask is if you can spend just 2 seconds, go ahead and hit that like button and let's begin. So first off, we do have some good news for Social Security recipients. The good news is that we are likely going to see additional inflation for this month, which means come October 12th, 2023, we're going to get the new CPI report. And in that report, there is likely going to be increases, which means that your cost of living adjustment for 2024 will be higher than the 3% that was expected a couple of months ago. As of right now, the expectation is it will be anywhere between 3.2% and potentially 3.5%, which means you are going to receive an average of about $52 to $60 extra every single month. So again, it's not an enormous amount of money, but $50 to $60 every single month, it could go a long way, especially if in 2024 we see inflation go down. So let's be ready for that. Now, that is some of the good news. However, we do have some bad news for Social Security recipients. One of those issues is that many people, millions of people all across the United States are asking for one thing: an increase. Increase our benefits. Provide us the $200 per month that you said you were going to give us. That is both President Biden, Senator Bernie Sanders, Senator Elizabeth Warren. All these people have been saying for some time, we need to provide Social Security recipients with an additional income boost. However, it hasn't happened. That's a problem. Now, being that you aren't going to get that boost, especially not right now, not in 2023, most likely not in 2024 either. What are they discussing? Well, it actually has to do with this. Right now, and this is an article from Zero Hedge, it says, surge in U.S. seniors applying for entry-level positions. This is a new article, but what we've been seeing over the past year is more and more seniors are applying for entry-level positions. I talked to a friend of mine just the other day, and he was saying that in the school that he works in, there are more seniors that are coming in, that are getting out of retirement. Well, why? Because they can't afford it. Because before they were receiving their Social Security check, and they were able to cover all their benefits, or cover all their expenses with that one benefit. Now, because of inflation, keeps going up, it's causing them to actually not receive enough money, and so now they're having to spend money and put things on credit cards, which is not a good idea. But it's because of this. Now lawmakers are talking about additional increases, and there's multiple increases. So if you are a Social Security recipient, and likely you are, that's one of the reasons why you're watching this video, one of the things that we're seeing, and there's a handful of different ideas here. These are discussions. There are some proposals out there for this, or for some of these ideas, but again, this is where the discussions are headed. If we can't just provide an increase to Social Security benefits, if we can't ensure that Social Security will remain solvent past 2034, what other options do we have? Well, this is what they're talking about. Number one, there's a list of, there's 5 different things here that they're discussing. And there's probably more, but this is what we've seen in the recent articles. First, raise the tax limit that requires seniors to pay taxes. And you're probably thinking, well, why does that really matter? And the answer is yes. Because for individuals, if you make over $25,000, you are supposed to pay taxes. For couples that make over $32,000 per year, you are supposed to file your taxes. Well, what if we raise that to, instead of $25,000 for an individual, raised it to potentially $35,000? And you're probably thinking, well, what would that do if our benefits are still the same? Here's the difference. Now, what if instead of, okay, at $25,000, you have to pay taxes. Now it's $35,000. So now these seniors can go out there and get a job. They can go and work and not have to worry about paying more in taxes because they're working. Could that potentially work? Well, according to multiple reports and many experts, the answer is yes. Because now we're incentivizing seniors to go back to work. And guess what? You go back to work and you are still paying taxes. You're still paying the Social Security tax and the Medicare tax. So now Social Security and Medicare are receiving a bump in revenue because seniors are going back to work. Now, there's probably not going to be 50, 60 million seniors going back to work, but even a 1% going back to work would really benefit the Social Security Trust. So that's one idea. The next one, simple, raise the Social Security tax cap. Currently, it's $160,200. They are now saying that we need to at least raise it to $250,000. That should be the minimum. However, President Biden and Democrats are likely to keep a pretty much a limit of $160,200, and it will go up next year. But they're going to skip until $400,000, and then they will go and tax that. That's the expectation at this time. Another one, and I think this is interesting. Increase the Social Security earnings cap. Okay? Increase the Social Security earnings cap and not just adjusted for inflation. And I pulled up this article. I want to read this to you so that you really understand this. Okay? But look at this. It says opting to receive Social Security retirement or survivor's benefits does not mean you can't get income from other sources. And extra money from a part-time job or from investments can help stretch a Social Security check and make retirement more comfortable. I think that's what everyone's asking. Like, we don't want to increase our benefits just so we can take that additional increase and put it into the stock market, go buy Bitcoin, right? Dogecoin. No. People are wanting to use that money to live a little more comfortable life, right? We can't blame them for that. Well, let's look at it. It says, however, people who opt to receive benefits before reaching the full retirement age, which is age 67, can only earn so much each year before Social Security starts reducing their benefits. It says the earnings cap is adjusted for inflation. For 2022, it is $19,560. Now let's think about that for a second. So it's $19,560. Okay, that was in 2022. Okay, I'm just trying to give you an idea here. The numbers the exact numbers really don't matter here. But this is the key right here. It says once annual earnings reach the cap amount, okay, for an individual be $19,560. For every $2 a Social Security recipient under, so not age 67 yet, under the full retirement age earns from working, the total annual benefit gets reduced by $1. For instance, if a recipient gets $1,000 a month in benefits, they get $20,000 a year from their job. They subtract the $19,560 from $20,000, which means it's $440. You divide that by 2, okay? Because again, for every $2, divide that by 2, which means your Social Security annual benefit would be reduced by $220 a year. Okay? So that's a big issue. Now, one thing I can tell you though is this has been part of the discussions for many years. Can we increase this amount? So instead of somebody coming in and saying, a senior coming in and saying, I know you're trying to give me 30 hours a week. However, I can't really afford that because now I will lose my benefits. So instead of 30 hours a week, how about just 20 hours a week? I'll come in 4 days a week. I'll work 5 hours. That's it. That is where we're starting to get these discussions to turn. That's where they're headed. It's because now what we're hearing is, can lawmakers increase this cap? Okay, can they increase the Social Security earnings cap? And if they can increase it, likely more seniors would come in and work. even though they're already receiving benefits. So that would be actually a big stepping stone there. Here's another one. And this is something that there's a lot of Republicans that are fighting to ensure that the border security is a little bit tighter. We're not seeing 8,000 illegal immigrants just cross the border on a daily basis. So what they're actually asking for is we can make it easier for some people to come into the United States. However, we need to ensure that they are being accountable for themselves. We need to make sure that they have the right working documents, that they can pay taxes. Okay? They're not just coming into the U.S., receiving our benefits that are funded by the American taxpayers, but they are paying into the system. They are now receiving the same things that the American people are getting, but there has to be some type of give and take here. And so what's being discussed is, can we allow more immigrants into the U.S., provide them with the proper paperwork, proper work documents, and then we will reap the reward of additional taxes? Can we do that? The answer is yes. Not only by having more people come into the workforce would that improve the economy, but we can't just give away our benefits. We cannot just give away benefits to people coming in, coming across the border with really illegally. It doesn't make sense, and that's what Republicans are asking for. The other one, instead of increasing the full retirement age from age 67 up to age 68 or possibly 69, could we come down to age 66 or 65? The answer is yes. If we can increase the Social Security tax cap, if we can bring in additional workers into the United States and that are working full-time, now we can tax them. Could we lower the retirement age? The answer is yes. But multiple things have to happen here, and it doesn't seem like lawmakers are really working together. But this is where I bring this up. What is happening right now? The biggest issue right now actually has to do with something that it's going to be over in 2 days. In just 2 days, the end of Saturday, Saturday, September 30th, we are going to have the U.S. government is potentially going to shut down. Well, this is the big issue. Lawmakers are trying to get a deal done, and they got 2 days to do it. Look at this article from today. It says Speaker Kevin McCarthy criticizes Senate measure, says the House will get a bill done to avoid a shutdown. And I want to be very clear on this. We are now seeing that there's potential shutdowns. If there are shutdowns, and again, good news for Social Security recipients, you will still get your Social Security check. Bad news for SNAP recipients, because you would actually only receive your benefits for the month of October. And if this shutdown continues past October, guess what? There is no check for you. You will not receive your SNAP benefits in the month of November, potentially December. That is troubling. So, when Speaker Kevin McCarthy says he will get a deal done, the House will get a deal done to avoid a shutdown. Right now, the Senate has their bill. They can get that passed. But will it pass in the House of Representatives? No, absolutely not. The House of Representatives have their bill. They can get that passed through most likely Republican votes and probably some Democratic votes as well, but they can get that passed. As soon as they get that passed, guess what? It's going to go over the Senate, and it will not pass there. But you know why Speaker Kevin McCarthy is now getting more support for his bill in the House of Representatives? It's because there's some hardline Republicans that said only if we see impeachment proceedings, impeachment inquiries on President Biden, that's the only way they will vote in favor of the bill that Speaker Kevin McCarthy is putting in front of them. Look at this. This is from this morning. It says Biden impeachment. Live updates as House Republicans hold first open hearing. Yeah, they have to go forward with this. Whether they have the evidence or not to impeach him doesn't matter. Speaker Kevin McCarthy has to move forward with an impeachment hearing because that is what hardline Republicans are asking for. So again, it's troubling. Now, are we going to see this government shutdown? Well, It could happen. But, big news, last minute deal averting government shutdown is unlikely. Most experts, most economists believe shutting down the United States government is not just an option, it's the most likely option. And we're about a 90% chance that the government is going to shut down for at least potentially 1 to 3 weeks. So that's huge right there. Now, why does all this matter? First off, this matters for multiple reasons, but one of the things that you need to keep in mind as of right now is if the U.S. government shuts down, puts a lot of pressure on the U.S. economy. And this is an economy that we cannot shut down. We can't struggle even more, especially when we got COVID coming back. Is it impacting everybody like it did last year or 2 years ago? No. However, are we starting to see the cases? Are they increasing? The answer is yes. Hospitalizations are increasing. It's becoming a problem. But that is not the only problem that we're facing here in the United States. Here's another one. Oil prices here in the United States are surging to their highest levels in more than a year. That's not good news. One of the reasons why this is not good news is because we are now touching, again, the highest levels. But look at this. I want to show you this chart. This is a 3-month chart. Back here on July 3rd, 2023, we had oil prices at $69.79. Okay? We come over here to today, and you can see it right here, right? It's at $92.85. Yesterday, it peaked at $94.17. That is a big, big jump. Okay? In 3 months, we are now up $23 per barrel of oil. That means gas prices are going to continue to go up. That means for seniors, what do you pay? You pay gas, you pay electricity, you pay food, you pay shelter, medications, 5 things. Guess what? Shelter is pretty much going to stay about the same. Gas prices, if oil goes up, gas prices go up. If oil goes up, gas prices go up. Guess what? Your energy costs go up. There's another increase. Guess what about food? How does it get to store to store to store to your house? Well, it takes transportation. It takes a vehicle to move it. Whether it's a big truck or a little car, doesn't matter. It takes fuel. Guess what? That means you're going to pay more. That's for food. What about medications? Exact same thing. How does it get from pharmacy to your grocery store? Yeah, you have to pay to get it delivered, shipped. That means if fuel goes up, your cost goes up as well. So that is very troubling at this time. But one thing I can tell you regarding Social Security is we can't ignore the signs. We can't ignore what's happening at this time. We have to be well aware of everything that's going on. That's why I wanted to make sure that you understand what are some of the increases that we're seeing. Guess what? In just 3 days, on October 1st, for Social Security recipients and every recipient of SNAP benefits, you are going to receive a cost of living adjustment. It is going to go up. But at the same time, in the same month, that might be your last SNAP check. Because if we see the government shut down, SNAP benefits would not have the funding needed to give benefits to over 40 million people. So we'll see what happens moving forward. As always, as I know more, I promise I'll come back on and share all the latest news and updates. Again, thank you guys for watching. Consider subscribing. I'll see you guys on the next one.